I'm 37F, seriously considering ending my engagement and relationship to my fiancé, 36 meters. I went out with my fiancé on Valentine's Day. My gift was going to this thing called Martini Wars. I think it was something on Eventbrite he found last minute. It was a battle between bartenders and, as you can imagine, a lot of drinking. Things were going fine until the ride home. In the Uber, his tongue was hanging out of his mouth, his eyes were rolling back, head bobbing back and forth. I was afraid he was going to vomit in the car, so I kept the windows down and tried to comfort him. We made it home fine, but then he became very obstinate. He refused to listen, he was still borderline sick, so I kept telling him to move to the toilet. He wouldn't budge from the spot in the bathroom he was, and vomited all over the floor. I became upset at how unnecessarily defiant he was being. But then at some point, he became angry and showed me a side I've never seen from him in the 5 years I've known him. He began screaming at me and didn't back down. I was in an abusive relationship before, and it triggered the worst memory of that relationship. I begged and pleaded with him to stop yelling and he didn't. At some point he left the room and I took the opportunity to get a hotel that night. I woke up in the hotel to a text message of his, saying that he didn't remember anything but he was very sorry. I stayed away from him all this weekend. But since he's returned home, he's done nothing to make amends for his transgressions. I told him the engagement was off, he accepted it. He avoids me around the house, doesn't try to connect with me. I guess the worst part is Wednesday nights are supposed to be date nights. Yesterday he told me he was going out with his boy and asked if I wanted to go. I feel like he doesn't even care how much he hurt me and he doesn't even want to fight for the relationship. I know I'm coming to this with one side, I'm wondering if there is any salvaging this relationship. If you were in his shoes, what steps would you be taking to show you were serious about the fact that you hurt your fiancé? If I were him, my first thing would be a sincere apology, the next would be to try to find out what I had done or said and ask how I could make amends. He has done none of the above. So, it's pretty clear what he thinks of you and it obviously isn't very much. I would begin the process of separating your lives and moving on. Hard I know, but you shouldn't have to live in fear for his next breakdown. You have a right to live and enjoy your life and not live in fear. So your gift was an event he wanted to go to? Then he got wasted, screamed at you for trying to help him and isn't doing anything to apologize or fix this. Sounds like he doesn't think you really did anything wrong and you overreacted, which you didn't. I don't think he's staying you ending the engagement seriously, like he thinks there's no way you'd leave him. You need to make it permanent. He showed complete disregard for you and won't apologize, which shows you the kind of life you'll have, a verbally abusive guy who never apologize. Is that what you want? Because if you accept his behavior it'll only get worse. Going off with his friend is worse than accepting you calling off the engagement? He indirectly says, sorry, and still doesn't make actual amends when you're home? Sounds like you made the right decision before it got worse, emo. He wants you to just move on from it, and that's a pretty telltale sign he'll do this again. He thought he could let his mask slip a little because you're getting married. Probably thought you'd move on and accept the apology and thinks by now you'll come back around on the engagement. Don't. It would be one thing if he threw up and woke up the next morning apologizing, but the screaming lets me know he's wanted to do that the whole time and used being drunk as an excuse. You've been here before, don't go back. Putting aside him getting sloppy drunk and triggering a very bad memory for you, I think it's more concerning you already ended the engagement and he doesn't seem too bothered by it. I think that's enough of a sign that the guy doesn't love you the way you love him. Maybe it's best to stay firm with your decision, at least for the time being. 36 is way too old to be behaving like this. How do I, 18F, tell my girlfriend, 20F, her vag smells? PLS, don't judge, I really need advice here. Hello. I'm 18F, and I'm currently in a lesbian relationship with my wonderful girlfriend, 20F. We are sexually active and I just have some concerns. I really want to go down on my girlfriend and touch her and pleasure her, but her vag smells so bad, like even when she's just changing, I can smell it, and I know vag doesn't smell like roses and flowers, but it is like a genuine stench. I have touched her before and my fingers will smell for days. She'll say I'm a pillow princess, and I'm too scared, but it's really just her scent that is such a turn off. Does anyone have any ideas on how I can address this with her without embarrassment? Thanks, please be kind. With a smell that bad, she probably has BV. Simple hygiene isn't going to fix it. She needs to see a doctor. Just tell her that you're concerned about her and you want her to be healthy so you can both enjoy yourselves. This is one of those bite the bullet things. Just gotta be brave and say it with as much concern and love as you can. I'd love to go down on you, and I've noticed some things that indicate maybe your pH is off and I'm concerned for your health. Would you get checked out to put my mind at ease? Edit 13 hours after I posted this comment at 5 a.m. after no sleep. Thank you all for the upvotes. I think this is probably my most upvoted comment ever, and I honestly expected like, what, 7 upvotes? Not 1.4k cold sweat smile. Thank you, lovelies. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I'll never understand why people are more comfortable licking each other's privates than actually talking about it. You say this, darling, you know I love you, but you got something funky going on that you need to get checked. I'll go with you. Whatever it is, I'm here for you. People have pointed out it could possibly be hygiene issues from a lack of education. However, there could be a medical cause, like BV or yeast. You guys are fairly young. Has she been to a gyno recently or ever? Tell her that you love her and are concerned that she might have some medical going on down there. Work together and schedule a gyno appointment. A doctor can rule out any medical causes. If that doesn't work, try and find hygiene solutions together. See if she's wiping the right way. Buy some baby wipes for the bathroom. Take a shower together and volunteer to scrub every cranny out. My money is on she's got a medical reason though. Be honest. It's not a fun conversation. She will feel embarrassed regardless. But if I were her, I'd want to know. Especially if it made my partner feel this way. She needs to go see a doctor because she probably has BV. You gently tell her that she has an odor that needs to be seen by a doctor so she can get meds. I 20F found jewelry in my BF's 21M bathroom. Am I being cheated on? Last night I was at my boyfriend's apartment and I went to get a new tube of toothpaste from under the sink. When I opened the cabinet I found a gold bangle bracelet sitting there and naturally I was confused. I held up the bracelet to ask where he got it from and he said it was his sister's 24F. I accepted this answer but I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. I went to her Instagram to see if she had ever worn this bracelet, but what I discovered was that she had never worn gold jewelry at all. She wears lots of jewelry but every single piece is silver. I have no other reason to suspect him of cheating on me, but I found this really odd. Not only have I never seen it before, but I don't think it would be something he'd wear either. The style is somewhat feminine and I haven't seen him wear anything gold. I am worried that this was left by another woman intentionally. But I really don't know what to do or say about it. I don't want to accuse him of cheating and sound crazy if I'm wrong. Any advice? Contact his sister and tell her you found her gold bracelet. See what her response is. I feel like basing it on her Instagram isn't really reliable. I also mostly wear silver, but I do have some gold pieces lying around my house. Have you gone under his sink before? Maybe it's from an ex or a fling before you started dating and he just put it there and forgot about it. Ask his sister. I one time found eyelashes woman facepalming medium light skin tone tears of joy. In retrospect I should have ran. I think girls often do leave things in a man's house if they think he's cheated. IDK girl, maybe reach out to the sister. Keep quiet about this with the brother, he or even the sister may try to cover it up. Not to plant the seed of doubt, but just be careful as STDs exist and cheating is common, so maybe get STD tested and don't have unprotected sex anymore with him if you were already. I once found an opal and gold pendant at my boyfriend's house. We'd been together a year or more. I asked him about it. He said he'd found it after a party he'd had a year or so before and no one had claimed it and he didn't bother continuing the search. I believed him, cleaned it up and wore it around his friends a few times. Nothing ever came of it. Sometimes shit just gets left behind. Even if it's from a hookup or ex before I was around, who cares? Partner, M31, wants me, F30, to choose between him and the dog. My partner, 31M, and I, 30F, have been together for 9 years as of April this year. However, we only moved in together in July 2023. I've had a dog for almost 8 years. The dog has, of course, lived with me most of the time, or actually always. We often met without the dog, so we had a lot of time together without the dog. However, he still spent a lot of time with the dog and considered it a shared pet, treating it as such. Since we moved in together, I haven't had the dog with me all the time. I've only had him for a maximum of 2 nights a week because, since we've had the apartment together, there has been tension between the two of them. The dog has in fact been panting excessively. It's worth mentioning that the dog is generally a more anxious breed, but it's gotten worse in his environment. In September of last year, I discovered that he was cheating on me. Since then, we've been trying to repair the relationship. We've been at it for 5 months now, trying to rebuild the relationship. During these 5 months, I've only had the dog in the apartment when he wasn't around. He's seen the dog for maybe 15 minutes in total over the last 5 months, which doesn't really bother me. Right now, I don't want the dog near him. Therefore, the dog spends a lot of time with my mother. The issue now is that he's essentially giving me an ultimatum. Either him or the dog. He believes the dog brings too much chaos and says I should decide. He wants the dog to stay at my mother's house. He doesn't seem to care that the dog is incredibly important to me and vital for my peace of mind. I just don't know what to do. Would you give up your dog for an unfaithful partner? Edit. I did phrase this completely wrong. In my head and my heart I know what's right. Keep the dog, ditch the bastard. I just needed someone to tell me that I am right with this decision. I love my dog and she has been with me through my darkest hours. I just needed reassurance, I guess. The dog is not the problem here. You know the dog is not the problem here. Frankly, I'm pretty sure he knows the dog isn't the problem, either. He just refuses to be the one to break up with you for whatever reason, so he's come up with this ridiculous ultimatum to make you do it. Just call his bluff and call the whole thing quits already. Choose the dog. You seriously don't know what to do. Has the dog cheated on you? Wow, this guy has big balls to cheat on you and then give you an ultimatum? No. Just no. What a creep. Few key points in this post. He cheated on you, and you stayed. Your dog displays symptoms of anxiety around him. What did he do to the dog for it to be so anxious? And now he wants you to choose him over the dog, after he cheated on you? Girl, get rid of him. He knows he got away with cheating on you, so now he's trying to control other aspects of your life. It's only going to get worse from here. I wouldn't give up my dog for a faithful partner. Especially one that was indifferent, at best, about my dog. Love me, love my dog means you actually have to love my dog. Dogs know when people don't like them.